I need to get caught up on these, loading these into YouTube because I've been getting some people asking about them. When you miss a recording, where is it? I'm like, it's still on my computer. um, but yeah, I used to get a lot of questions about how do you dress for clients, and I said dress appropriately. Whatever they wear, you wear.
That's the key. That's the key.
And when in doubt, everyone who maybe is less fashion sensitive, maybe just don't get it, a blue blazer in your car will dress up any outfit. It is a staple. Go out and buy Kenneth Cole or somebody blue blazer from Men's Warehouse and just keep it in your car. No matter what you're wearing, it works.
Yep.
And say, crap, I'm going to the attorney's office today. I need to look nice. Blue blazer.
There you go.
Done. A good chocolate one's good too, but that's or a suede, but depending on your weather format. Anyways, welcome to today's update. I have so many things to talk about today. I should talk about the software update a little bit. It was supposed to come out on Wednesday, but you're always like, okay, I can squeeze one more thing into this update. And so the developers talked me into it. And I'm like, okay, fine. We'll wait till Monday. That'll give me 2 days of Q&A this and skip to poke at it and see if we can make it fall apart. But this is a cool one, guys. It's not going to add a new module per se, but it is going to add some functionality that I'll get to towards the end of this session. And Skip and I can nerd out about what you're going to be able to do with all this data.
Yep. So we got a lot of things coming together. So, we've been working on this for a long time.
14 solid months. 15 now. 15 months now.
That's true. And so a lot of these things are really hitting. So I do think you need to take a step back, look at your approach, how you're utilizing the platform. I've been talking with a lot of people, and, short version of the conversation was, 2 years ago, the meeting report was the driver. It's what you brought up. You brought that meeting up with the clients and you rolled through that. You use your index, basically, that pop-out index on the left. You use that almost as your meeting agenda. Really could drive the whole conversation. And that point is still 100% valid. But we've given you some more options now, too. So it's not just this one one way to do it, sort of methodology, and you need to think about how you want to incorporate these into your flow with the idea of being flexible, because there's still more to come.
Yeah, and that's the narrative. Skip's hitting right on that. This is the theme for today. QBRs are dead, guys. It was something that was a great idea back around 2014 to 2017. And you still need to do QBRs in a business, right? But the concept of a QBR was that IT companies were not meeting with their clients to discuss business objectives. Mm-hmm. And then it was discovered that when we did do those business objective discoveries, that you were making more money and closing more projects. That was the crux of it. So this theory went out that if we could get MSPs and IT consultants to start doing these things called QBRs, which we do in the corporate world on every quarter. It's a mandatory thing. I as a director had to create my report to put into the PowerPoint so that the CIO or CEO could talk about my stuff at the QBR. So the whole company knew what was going on. So we thought, hey, let's get IT companies. So this went across and it's washed across the entire industry. However, then the vendors got a hold of it and they monetized it. And they took this concept and said, hey, our tool will do QBRs for you.
Yes.
We all know, all the great consultants, all the big heads are saying QBRs are what you need to do. We can show you how to sell assets more. We can show you how to sell more software. We can show you how to, and then whatever their solution was, they just kind of shoehorned it into a QBR. And QBRs lost all their original meaning. Corporations are still doing them as intended, and some of them are doing a little bit process-based, but what's happening is now everybody's walking in and doing the same thing they did to their sales 10 years ago, where you walked in with a stack of papers, you throw it down. Now you just walk into a QBR and you throw the same stack down because a vendor has automatically built this report for you. Now you can look good and you can check it off and my sales are going to increase. But you lost the crux of it. It's like,
That's
You
it.
have a date night with your wife. I always go back to date nights, right?
Yep.
You have your date night with your significant other, and you're like, "Oh, this is great. We're gonna bond more. We're gonna get along better. We really need this date night." And then after a while, it kind of becomes routine. You start going to the same restaurant over and over again, and then the conversations start becoming about the same things. You kind of get stuck in a process.
Yep.
And now the whole purpose of having a date night's been lost. The idea that you want to bond with your significant other. I do date nights with my kids, and you got to make sure that I'm talking to them about their day and I'm engaging with them. What's going on in your life, you know? And if you stop doing that, then the kids stop telling you things that are important in their lives, and eventually you get into this rut where you're going and doing this thing, but the purpose is lost. And
Right.
that's where we are with QBRs. What we want to say is, like, if you guys are using our software, you know that there is a better way than running a report and showing it to your clients. You know you can walk in and have a conversation with them and walk out with $20,000 of projects.
Yes.
And
But
why is
here's the
that,
important
Skip?
part, and back to your analogy there, Adam. I mean, it is really important when we talk about date night or whatever. That's a relationship, and we understand this in the business world, right? You have business relationships. CRM. I mean, kind of depend on which version you look at, but it's a client relationship management, right? And so that idea that we're going to work on the relationship with our customers is totally valid. So, but we have automated too much of it. We have processized and we have taken the relationship component out. So what we're enabling you to do is to fire those relationships back up, but you still need a tool, right? Because if you're just gonna, you can only have so many friends. There's lots of studies about how many people can you have in your close
Dunbar's
circle.
number.
Yeah, and there's it's nerd out on relationship stuff, but
I can.
oh, you can. I like to see how far down the scale I get on all of those. But you can only have, if you're managing a dozen, 20. We've got some of our members that an individual account manager is responsible for about 50 end clients. That's a lot of work. How do you maintain that relationship engagement? You need a tool. You need something to help support you along the way. But you can't take the relationship out of the tool.
Correct.
And that's the important part.
The tool should enable the relationship. Going to the restaurant should enable you to talk to your significant other or your kid or whoever it is you're talking to. It should be an enablement tool, not the objective.
That's it.
And so what I'm going to show you all here is kind of like that kind of narrative we kind of stick with. And then I'm going to take it to the next level with our new update. So it is very fortuitous. This is complete coincidence that we're talking about dashboards on the same day that we're releasing a major upgrade to the dashboards. I did not plan this. I wish I would have. I should just be like, oh yeah, I'm that coordinated in my project release schedule. But what we have here is, this is what we want you to talk about. No more QBRs. You should not walk into your client with a QBR. If you need to print something out, we still have the reports in the old Angular format that you can print out, and they are pretty.
No, we're not printing anything.
You can print these out. That's why they still look like this. This is 8.5 by 11 format, guys.
Yes.
But yes, please don't. But you have clients who love to have that printer. If you need to have marketing collateral or have collateral for the meeting, you can print out the meeting agenda one pager on the strategic report. That's about all I will recommend for you. But please, please, please stop printing our stuff. I'm going to eventually just make it break, and people are like, it doesn't work. I'm like, oh no, you just won't be able to print it anymore. Like, at some point, Skip, we're just going to let it break, and I'm just going to stop fixing it. And people are like, I want to print this report. I'm like, sorry.
Well, my standard joke on that is, printing our stuff is a lot like printing a YouTube video. And it just doesn't work really well. So it's going to get to the point where whether we break it or just functionality wise, it doesn't work.
No, Neil has a great idea. We'll just switch it to dark mode like the rest of the site and crush your LaserJet printers. Go ahead and print out that white on black text on your laser printers. We'll see how you feel. Use an
I've,
inkjet while you're at it. Might as well just burn cash.
I've played around. There is a dark mode plugin that actually works with our site and looks pretty cool.
You have to
Now
show me it.
I had to turn it off because it was just an unbelievable resource hog. But there's ways to get there.
You know, the real reason why we haven't flipped the reports to dark mode yet is just because the amount of cash it takes to upgrade Angular code. We're just going to swap it out for React. We'll get there. But yeah, it'd be funny to flip over to dark mode and people will stop printing naturally. Like, all right. So what we have here is this is the dashboard. This is your talking points with your clients. So you should be coming in here and saying, what is important to my clients and how do I force my account managers to talk business? And so you create a dashboard and move these things around in a way that highlights things that CFOs and people care about. The key to this is this budget over here. And so you can call that whatever you want. You can rename these cute things like forecasting. You know, call it something cute, and you'll have this nice narrative. This alone is worth the time. I must have opened up a really old tab. It's spinning, Skip. Why is it spinning? All right. So I've got like 30 of these open on another window, and if you see the dark H's on the top right there for you guys, I think. Those are the dev environment. So the sheer number of instances of this I have open is insane. I think I'm up to 60 now. I know. This is why things get slow. Send me an email if the site's ever slow and be like, Adam, what are you doing? I just hit refresh on all 60 tabs at the same time. Because I'm testing out the new features. So anyways, what you have here is you walk in with your client and you say, here's where you are. This is just a snapshot of our gap analysis, how much you're adopting of our stack. Now let's talk through the projects that you approved, the ones on the table, and let's talk about your budget over the sliding 12 months. That's your QBR, people. That's it. You didn't have to spend 12 hours or 6 hours preparing these reports. The number one complaint I hear from people is that it takes like 6 hours to prepare a QBR. And I'm telling you here, like, it's already done. You did your one audit this year back in December or January, and you have this to run off the rest of the year. You'll do another audit next fall or next December, and you'll walk in all your QBRs for this client will be done. Except for you don't have to do them as a QBR. You can now just do them as a touch point, which you have. If you look at your global screen here, all of you have this. If you hit your global screen up on top, this is your one page to rule them all, one page to bind them. In the darkness, you can now see all the stuff coming up for you. You can see your touch. Hey, where'd our touch points go, Skip?
Yeah. You must have deleted them.
No, I think you must have.
I hadn't been over there. That's your profile. So the view here is profile specific.
Oh,
so
I know why.
Make one for
they don't have touch point alerting yet, Skip.
It's not on the home screen yet.
It isn't.
Yes. All right. Yes, that's right. It's going to look really cool.
If only there was a way for us to see what meetings needed to be coming up. I've gotten so used to working in the dev environment that I've forgotten that people don't have access to this stuff. You know, eventually we're going to have like a real-time sync.
There. Yeah.
Oh no, there it is.
There it is. There it is.
See, this is my disorganizedness. All right, so I got my touch points up here. I was like, I've been working this long enough that I've assumed that touch point alerting. If you don't have touch point alerting set up, it's an automatic thing. You don't have to do anything really to make it work. It just works. It's going to base upon, Skip has his magic. He talks about like it just works based upon what they recommend touch points for the size of client it is. You can come in and just say, oh, look, I need to do a meeting with these guys. I'm going to call them up and show them the dashboard. Just on a whim, you know, you happen to have an hour free right now. See if you can't get a hold of that client. See if you can't get them on to do this, or just share the dashboard with them.
Yep.
Hey, now they've been
take a look at the touch point alerting. The beauty of it is, you know, because I get asked pretty often, how do I configure touch point alerting? And the answer is you don't. Okay.
Automatic.
It's automatic. Now, because of that, we're only going to get so much out of it. But what we get is a fantastic safety net to make sure that things don't go really bad. And if you want more, then you need to look at the client engagement scoring, all right, the CES module. That's where we get more. But when we look at touch point alerting, it is a fantastic safety net to make sure that we don't have anybody falling through the cracks. There's one configuration step, all right? You put a client in a segment. That's your configuration step. Once you've done that, touch point alerting is configured for that client. So if you want to talk more about it, it's great, but I'm probably going to lead that conversation, just so you know, it's probably going to lead into the client engagement strategy and developing playbooks, because that's how we be more proactive.
Yep. So what I want to segue into is, like, first of all, I wanted to get through you guys. The QBRs are dead. Client touch point is what you want. And this isn't a new idea. This isn't a novel idea. You guys have had this beat over your head. The difference between client touch points is I don't need to teach you how to do them. With a QBR, if you want to pay Adam Walter $5,000, I will teach you how to do a QBR from beginning to end. But that's the consulting gig. You don't need to do that. Just be yourself, except for Mike Giovanni. He needs to be somebody else. The rest of you, use your natural personalities. That's right. But you know, Neil, you're pretty good. You can go ahead and talk to people. You can be anyone you want to be. That's right. So the idea here is that differentiate yourself with dashboards, because every one of your competitors, I know, because I know how many MSPs are using this and how many are out there. You guys using our dashboards are immediately, as soon as your client sees what I call manager porn in front of them, they're going to go, holy crap, I love this. Can I get a copy of this? And like, sure enough, and you send them the link to it so they can see it anytime they want. Business type people love graphs. They love this stuff. They think this is the greatest thing ever.
So actually, pause right there. So those automated reports that you get out of your asset management, out of your firewall tools, your email tools, storage arrays, they all have these really cool graphs, right? And you get some positive feedback from your clients about those graphs. But at the end of the day, do they really understand what IOPS mean? Does that really register with them? Or are they just looking at pretty colors?
It's actionable data.
It's actionable data because you're going to show them a graph about their business. Your graph is going to mean something to them. They're going to understand some of the values in there and where you're trying to go, and appreciate and collaborate on that information. You're going to need engagement with these.
When you sit with your client, they see a spike here, and they're going to ask you, because they know how to read budget graphs.
Yep.
You may not understand budgeting. They do. They are experts. And they go, why is there a spike right there? And like, well, I wanted to talk to you about that. And now you have a talking point. Hey, we need to spread out the cost because you bought that large number of laptops when you got that grant 3 years ago, and now they're coming due. And we need to spread that project out over the next 2 years. Otherwise, you're going to owe another $100,000 because of that grant. Yeah. And then the client goes, oh, we should probably get in front of our donor and see if we can't go and get another bump or multiple bumps to spread out this cost. You have just created revenue for yourself. The client led the sale. I think that's something called client-led sales you can do. Talk to Sebastian about that or other people about that. But that's the point. So to facilitate these kinds of meetings, to make you look great, to make a Neil, to make a Mike, to make any of you, I can't see the list of people right now, look great. If you don't chat, I don't see you. To make you look great, we have added another layer of complexity, selling in the silence. It works wonders. Awkward silences. We have added just a little bit more capability to the client dashboard. As you can see here, now I have 2 budget dashboards. Why is that? Basically because we have now added the ability onto the right here to filter an individual widget. So you can have multiple scenarios of a single thing. So if you want to show them a budget of the printers, a budget of the molds. You could fill an entire home screen up, screw the pillars, get rid of them, throw them off to the side. You can give them a breakdown of the type of asset or configuration data. Maybe you have Microsoft licenses in your configuration data in ConnectWise. You can build a entire dashboard built around the idea of what projects and what scopes. Nice, Skip. And so now you can see what licenses are going to be renewed and when. Your client can see this now. They need to come up with $1,334 this year. Here's when. Looks like it's $140 a month, and all of a sudden they drop off. Why is it dropping off? Well, you did a subscription-based service, and that's your annual renewal date. We need to talk about that before that comes up. Otherwise, all your Microsoft instances are going to delay. Whatever it is, you now can create multiple dashboards for multiple scenarios. And you can actually come in here and you can tell your client, what do you actually care about? What do you want us to report on? And then you can build this dashboard with them as a group project. Hey, how can I make you look good so when you're talking to your CFO, you have all the data you need? These are the insights into their environment. Actual versus proposed data. Yes, you can do that, Mike. You come in here, project status, you can make a recommended and you can make an approved. So you have two scenarios. All the project you have in recommended status, all the project you have in approved status. You can break those two out. That is something we discovered while we're doing QA. I was like, hey guys, can we do like by project status? Actually, I think Neil or somebody, I was on a call with you guys and like, it'd be great if I could just filter. No, it was when I was at Taylor Business Group. They're like, hey, can we filter by project status? And they're like, yes. I'm like, no, I said, no, you can't do that. But we're in the middle of dev. So I wrote a message to the devs and said, hey, is there any way we can get a filter for project statuses? And then all of a sudden our minds exploded with all the possibilities. So like just like what Mike was talking about there, you can now say, hey, here's how much is in the recommended phase, and here's how much is in the approved phase. And you can actually do a breakdown here showing your clients how much have you completed over the year. So as long as you update your project status or your opportunity status in ConnectWise or our tool, hey, it's completed, client's happy with it, and done. And you can watch these things move as a pipeline through the year. You can make your own project statuses. These are just our default ones. You can change this on your back end. For those of you who don't know how to do that, reach out to Skip or me and we'll show you how to do that. But you can now show your client a story. You're not handing them a binder of papers. You're sharing with them this dashboard so that when they have to go in and justify their IT expenses to their boss, they can show them this dashboard right now. Heck, I'll even throw it to you guys as we speak. Now, I don't have any of my demo data in here, so you don't get the pretty graphs all filled out, but it does show you what your client is going to see. And these are your touch points, guys. This is all you have to do. This isn't 10 hours of work. This is you showing your clients so they can make actionable data. So when they see like a spike and stuff, they're like, hey, how do we even out that spike? And then a Neil or a Mike goes, well, you know what we could do? And then you propose a solution. Your client just asked you if they could spend money with you.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
And it's because you enabled them to see actionable data. When you're looking at a cacti report or you're looking at a logarithm report, something that's showing you what's going on in the environment, you see a spike in activity. You're like, oh crap, I should go look at that. Your client sees budgets the same way. And they're more important to them. They're like, oh crap, I got a big expense coming up here in August. What do I do about that? Well, let's just not do it. Think about how many times you've been in a meeting where the client didn't buy your solution and all they did was defer cost to another day.
Right.
They don't see that.
They didn't see the impact that it had. They didn't appreciate what pushing that meant to their business.
Yeah, so they come in here and they say, let's look at the monthly report and let's go ahead and add in workstation. Let's do a workstations one. Workstations are fun. Let's add in servers while we're at it. Just get some color in there. All right, I'm gonna say save. All right, so I want to see, maybe I didn't do it yet. Did I do it in the right one? Did I not save?
I don't think you have any assets in that one.
What?
Or you You might not have any of those projects in those statuses.
Oh, dang it, dev environment.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what would happen here is you would see that they're going to do it. Oh, I'm not going to buy my laptop today. Okay, that's fine. Change the install date, and you see the bump happen 2 months later. When's an appropriate time for you to buy that laptop? Well, we just can't afford it right now. Okay, let's move out. When can you do it? And they think, okay, we should probably find a time to do this because that mountain is starting to get bigger in the future, and that technology debt becomes visual. Now they're like, well, crap. Now I've deferred all my PCs and servers to 2024, and my budget, rather than being $10,000, is $20,000 for 2024.
Yep.
It's like Skip posted a better one out there.
And so that's actually right off our website. If you want to click there, or you can go out and look at one of the demo dashboards. And so that client has a bit more data in it, and so you see that budget dashboard really come to life. And once you get that up and going, and I'm really excited about that because you get to collaborate. You've probably heard me say it before, and I'll say it again. You get to collaborate with your customers to actually create a budget.
Now, I know we're running a little bit long on our meeting today, guys, but I got a couple more things to show you that are going to blow your minds. So this little widget right here, this little light of mine, this little widget of mine, I'm going to let it shine. You can call whatever you want. I'm going to call it unicorn poop. I'm going to audit the amount of unicorn poop in an environment. It doesn't seem like it's going to do much, right? What we love about this, for you legacy customers out there, especially legacy clients, we can come in and we can actually select any report that you've ever built. So let's say you have a report that you built that's got 10 questions on it. And those 10 questions are customer satisfaction. Maybe someday we'll integrate with Hoodoo or something. I don't know. And we're going to say, what are these top 10 questions of customer satisfaction? You ran this while you're on site. You can go ahead and select anything. Now you can see here in our test environment, we have about 1 billion of them because we've been in business for almost a decade now. So we can say, hey, here, and then we can change the color. Let's change the color to this beautiful pink over here because it's unicorn poop. And we click save. I now have a widget for a specific thing I audit. Maybe you'd want to have a audit on just VoIP, or you want to have an audit just on this thing you do. You're a boutique MSP, or what are they called? A bespoke MSP, and you've got something specific that you're auditing and that you do better than anybody else. Your cable management, your ability to mop floors. I don't know, but you can create a custom report and spin it off from all the 4 pillars and just audit on that and show how they're doing there. Ask them questions about their favorite My Little Pony.
Well, hold on. I got one you can use right now. I saw it with a member just this morning. One of the default templates that get added with your Humanized IT framework is, it's a bit outdated, I'm afraid, but there is a report out there strictly for assessing the client's Microsoft 365 environment.
Oh man, that thing's old.
It seems like it's not that old, but in Microsoft terms,
in Microsoft world it is.
But
yeah, it's like 2 years old. So
it's a great starting spot. You can do that, and you can go through there. And I know, Microsoft is good or bad. It's a big part of our lives, but now we can assess, hey, here's the tools that you're getting with your subscription. Do you need them? And let's put them on a deal. So that's one you can use right now.
The beauty of this ITCQ, the ITCQ will be limited on those because they won't do the global and they won't do the industry because this is unique to your MSP. So it's going to compare this average score is going to be compared against other people at your MSP that you've audited using this specific report template. So you're just going to want to make sure that you're aware of that. So if you make one of these report templates, it's just this report template for just your customers. So this is a really, really useful one. If you look in here, there is a ton of them. These are all hit Monday. So you can go across and you can play with these, and you can create a layout that means something to you. The second major thing that's going to happen on Monday is that you're going to start being able to save scenarios. This is a super big deal, guys. If you have never worked with a SEAM or some kind of event management tool, these are huge. Have wanted one of these. This is one of the main reasons I wanted to build all this. And the reason is like, I want to see across all of my clients, I have a question. I want to see all of them. I want to see which ones are affected by this new workstation rollout. Which ones are still using Windows 7, Windows 11, Windows 10? As long as it's in your asset inventory, you can now create a global filter to answer those questions. This is all based around what you want to do. So you can say, add a widget for assets that says, show me all assets that meet this criteria. So, and I can create an assets out of warranty, and I can create a filter on that. It's awesome. Oh, come on, dev environment.
You're going too fast.
Going too fast. It's too many tabs. Error.
Oh, there we go.
See?
Yes.
There it is.
Yep.
Well, I told them to refresh the database. I wonder if they're doing that right now.
Yeah, I got that earlier. So
I told them to back up and restore the database because I want all my sample data in here. If all of a sudden we see a bunch of spikes happen in these graphs, that's what happened.
Yep.
So, man.
Yep.
Can't believe it. Or if I can go over here. I bet he's refreshing it right now.
Yeah.
Right. So what happens is, and I will have to show this to you guys later, is that you have access to, if for multi-tenancy people, you have access to a home screen that you can fully update and create scenarios for. So as you create filters for each of these individual modules, so if you get like a budgeting, we're gonna have a budgeting dashboard because you're a MSP owner and you want to know where you are for rollouts of these kinds of projects, or where you are for any kind of approved projects. Maybe you want to talk through different scenarios. You just create a widget for that and you save it. And you save the client segment, you save the industry, you save the account managers. So you can do team meetings, clients, and you save the scenario. So I can say, hey, here I'm going to do, Skip, you disappeared. I'm going to do team meetings with Gabor.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and put a filter on it. And I'm going to save this as Gabor one-on-one meeting, right? So now when I meet with this guy, I know that I can load the scenario for his project list and we can talk through what he's working on this week. This helps you become a manager with more insights. So now I can load the scenario or I can switch to a new scenario. This is how your world works now. You now have instant insights into what is going across all of your clients. And that's what I wanted to get to because this is important. This makes things easier for you. Again, Adam Walter, I promise to always be lazy. I will always help you be lazy. See? Man. That's
that
hilarious.
little X is so deceiving. You keep wanting to click on the X and it won't.
I know. I want to refresh.
A message.
I want to refresh. All right. Dev environments are fun. That's the rule here. So the goal here is, but if I go back to it, it's going to be, yep, it's all hung up. Dev environments are fun. They do exactly what you want them to all the time. The other thing that, to Neil's hope is, let me go back out to Demo Essentials. He's small. You now have a new client screen as well. This really hasn't changed from the original client screen. You just get a much cleaner look. So now when you're flipping around, your clients will never see almost the only thing left in still the printable view is your proposals and your reports, and then some of the admin back there. So everything that you kind of do through here is all going to be in React. So when you go to your client screen, we've been having some discussions over how to utilize this white space here. When you're scanning down through clients, what do you want to be able to see? If a client is red, that means you got some touch points you need to do on this guy. If it's green, it means you're all up to date. If it's gray, it means there are no upcoming touch points, and you probably need to figure out why. So this is the future, guys. Oh, and the other thing is we got rid of the managed services platform badge up here. This kind of gives you a little bit more of a white box feel. So managed services platform is gone from the left here. The humanized IT H for home, H for humanized IT. But your clients, when you're doing these dashboards with them, will only see your logo up here to the right, your computer name. So it gives you a little bit more of a white box feel. I know we're still not doing custom CSSs. Maybe someday we'll get to those, but not today.
Yep.
But right now, this gives you a nice white box feel. All right, this is a longer community update than usual. Skip, do you have any final words for people? I'm excited to see you guys play with this. Tell me what you think about it. There's some really cool modules we're working on. We're ahead of the schedule on dev right now, so we feel pretty excited. I am not excited to get the bills from the devs, but they are ahead of schedule, and we are seeing some really cool and useful things. So the goal is here, tell other people about this. Tell your favorite MSPs about this. Because the more people that sign up, the more input we get into what kind of widgets are going to help you be successful tomorrow.
Yep. So we got a lot of these new features that they've hit. They're functional. Personally, I feel we need to bind these together in something really, really smooth. That's what I want to do for you guys is make something that kind of connects all the dots. All right. And we'd love your input on that. I am really happy that we've got things out there that you can work with right now. We could have sat on this for another 14 months and yeah, we could have sat on another 14 until we had the whole thing. But I'm really excited because you've got usable features right now that you can get out there. So start doing that and give us some feedback. I'd love to hear what you guys are saying and elements that you want. We are still in high dev mode, so we want to make this useful for what you need and meet your business challenges.
Yeah, definitely. These are all driven by you guys. Tell us what you need. Tell us what's going to make things easier, and we will put it on the dev queue. If it's really cool, we'll put it really fast. We are a rapid deployment shop. That's why you're seeing these updates come out quickly. And I am excited for what you guys are going to play with and show us on Monday. Monday is the day. You should be able to wake up, Ken with a cup of coffee, and be able to customize these dashboards to what you need to know to be successful in your MSP. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.
See you.